do that again.
A lot of this isn't going to make sense to you, and I'm sorry about that. I'm just going to start at the beginning, with the house.
Okay.
I lived here until I was 11, but I wasn't allowed inside half the rooms.
Kind of weird looking house, isn't it?
Inside the mailbox were bills from 7 years ago, marked urgent, open immediately. I hadn't been back since my brother Lewis's funeral.
You're not allowed in there, John. No trespass.
In her will, my mother left me a key, but didn't tell me what it unlocked.
Wait.
Maybe she thought I'd know. Or she thought the mystery would be enough to bring me back.
There's 2 writers here.
The truth is, even after I inherited the house, I never thought I'd come back to it. But now I had questions about my family that only the house knew the answers to. The woods around the house have always been uncomfortably silent. As if they're about to say something, but never do.
Can't jump.
It's probably not a jumping game.
Every game of humans, you should
The house
be able to
was
jump,
exactly
right?
like I remembered it, the way I'd been dreaming about it. As a child,
The
house
garage
made
is
me
normal.
uncomfortable in a way I couldn't
Yeah.
put into words. Now, as a 17-year-old, I knew exactly what those words were. I was afraid of the house.
So that might automatically open for me for some reason. What? How big is this person?
Crawling through the doggy door used to be a lot easier when I was 11. The power had been turned off the night we left. For the first time in years, I felt like I was home. But instead of a family, there were just memories of one.
What's that thing? What's this? Fish can.
Like how after Lewis started working at the cannery, we all got sick of eating salmon. Except our cat, Molly. The table was still a wreck from the night we left.
What?
It was like a bomb had gone off, killing everyone. My mom was the only one of us who could imagine Great-Grandma Edie living in a nursing home. Nothing in the house looked abnormal. There was just too much of it, like a smile with too many teeth.
I hear that, Samuel. You're not in the house.
Yeah.
What? I pressed it, man.
Great-Grandpa Sven built a music box for Barbara, along with the rest of the house. Mom always told me to stay out of the basement, so I wasn't too surprised when the key didn't fit. A lot of things got left behind in the whirlwind of
Well,
that
there's
last night.
marshmallows. That's not what packing material looks like.
Huge box of marshmallows. Yeah.
Oh, please, let me... Oh, can't get on.
After
You
Milton
You have to
disappeared,
walk up yourself.
Mom sealed up all the bedrooms. Then Edie retaliated and drilled peepholes.
For a house that looks really weird outside, it looks more normal inside.
Yeah. What the? They foam sealed the edges of doors.
Have we got padlocks?
Whenever people ask me about my family, the first thing they always want to know about
Mom
is
must have
Barbara.
locked the third-floor stairs on the night we left. I spent a lot of time playing in Great Uncle Walter's room. I think my mom sometimes regretted not sealing it up.
Louis told me there were secret passages, but I never believed him.
A book with a key.
Turns out, my mom was really good at keeping secrets. Now it was time
You
to
just
find
kill
out
that
what
open
Mom
with
had been
scissors.
afraid of. Reading this, maybe it sounds like I had a plan, but I had no idea what was behind that door. Just like I had no idea where all this was gonna lead.
I feel like all these
I
rooms
grew
don't
up
actually
looking
get
at
in the
Mommy's
house.
room through the peephole.
Yeah, surely it doesn't.
December 13th, 1947. Dear Diary, I'll be gone soon, but I wanted to tell somebody about what's gonna happen. It started when Mom sent me to bed without dinner. I woke up and I was starving, so I looked around for something to eat. The gerbil food was dry, but I didn't mind it.
That's not a good idea.
I
Yeah,
thought
eat
about
the
eating
fish.
Christopher, but I held back.
Do it.
The fish was eating the lettuce.
There's loads of cans of fish downstairs. That's what you gotta get. Oh, that was dark.
I kept eating and eating.
I thought you were crouching then. You're just purposely short.
Yeah, just reverse this. That's how I brush my teeth. Ew.
I ate a lot of things that night.
Okay, let me predict this. This girl's dead because she's eaten poisonous berries.
I didn't know
Then
that's
I
not
heard
a
chirping
plastic
outside my
ornament,
window.
Ollie.
It was a barn swallow going back to her nest. I reached out for her. And suddenly, I was a cat.
Nice.
I tried to
you're
get
running
out,
around.
but the bird was really scared.
Kind of. I feel like it's protecting me from falling off. There you go.
Mom and Dad didn't even look at me.
Oh. There's weird people over there.
That looks like it moves alright.
I think
I
it knows
jumped and I
exactly
almost got
where
her.
to go there. I don't think I could fall off.
I could tell she was getting really tired. Now I was up in the big tree. I promised Dad I wouldn't climb it anymore. I gobbled her up. And suddenly, I was an owl. First, all I heard was the wind. Then I heard little teeth nibbling in the grass.
I think you have to find a mouse to eat.
Rabbits.
What?
You missed it.
I didn't see one. I just heard her say rabbits. Unlucky mate.
I imagined his face looking up and seeing mine through my talons.
Blurry beak.
I swallowed him up, and I didn't chew one bit. Then I flew off to find something bigger. A mama rabbit. She was almost too big to keep.
That's not bigger.
That's the same thing, isn't it?
But I couldn't stop eating. And suddenly, I was a shark.
This doesn't add up. Oh no, I've been wedged.
Shark snowboarding.
Right, let's go. I presume I'm going downhill.
I rolled off the cliff and into the ocean. Now,
But that guy's
I was
confused, isn't that
hungrier
guy?
than ever.
But now your eyeballs on top of your head. Inside.
Way to go down. Oh.
I wanted fat, juicy seals.
Here you go, seal. Actually, I had to aim for that one.
I tore off her flipper, and it tasted really good.
Are we going somewhere?
Almost
Grabbed
missed.
on tight. When I was so hungry, I jumped out of the water. When I opened my eyes, everything had changed.
Wait, what? My octopus.
Probably.
Now I was a monster, and I smelled people everywhere. I was big, and I moved real quiet.
Just kill someone.
I wanted to stop, but also I didn't.
I'm gonna eat him, that's what I'm gonna.
You're gonna have to eat the boat drive.
I finished eating it. What's going on?
Try a different angle.
Maybe it did.
There's a bird on the railing over there. I bet you turned into a bird.
I'm trying to get us.
After the last passenger, I was still hungry. And to cross the water, I smelled something new. Something I had to have, so I swam towards it. I slithered onto the sand, and the good smell went into an old pipe.
Oh no, came in the toilet.
I got closer and closer.
Let's return to the house. We must be going towards the light, right?
All my stomach started growling. And suddenly, I was
There was a wall on it.
I held my breath for a long time, but I couldn't hear anything. I think it's waiting for me to fall asleep. But it's not going to wait much longer. It needs to be, and we both know I will be delicious.
What a waste of space on that page. Could fit double what you wrote.
I'm not sure if I believed all of that, but I'm sure Edie would have.
I was just gonna go through stories of people there.
Okay, I was sitting in the chair that whole time, was it?
I grew up looking at Molly's room through the peephole.
Molly's gerbil had a tiny bedroom with its own even tinier gerbil cage.
It's so dark.
I don't know. Oh, am I going out the window? What? It's
This
dangerous
would be
going up
obvious later, but my mom never told me any of these stories.
Edie would have, but Mom didn't like bringing up the past. Though, when we adopted a stray kitten, she was the one who named it Molly.
I spent a lot of time in Great-Grandma Edie's room. We got along, and it was a good place to hide from my mom.
What's this?
Oxygen tank.
It's been taking pills.
Her room was like a museum.
For 500 years, the Finches have been famous throughout Norway for their fortune and misfortune. Odin Finch buries the latest victims of the family curse, his wife Ingeborg and their newborn son, Johan. On January 7th, 1937, he set sail with his family and his house, hoping to leave the curse behind. But 40-foot waves off the coast of Washington send the house and Odin to the bottom of the sea. Odin's daughter Edie, with husband Sven and baby Molly, step ashore on their new home, Orcas Island. Odin Finch is the first to be buried in the new family cemetery.
Is this their ancestors?
His daughter Edie is already dreaming of a new Finch house.
Okay.
Whatever's wrong with this family, it goes back a long ways.
Something wrong with it. They turned into animals as well.
Edie gave a big interview about a mole man living under the Finch house. My mom... I hadn't thought of myself as Edith Jr. for a long, long time.
When Edie told people Sven was killed by a dragon, she could also have said he was building a dragon-shaped slide that collapsed.
Even in her 90s.
Oh,
Sometimes Edie
just
seemed
like
a lot
really
younger
weird
than my
stuff.
mother.
Oh,
What's this?
pink seaweed.
The only trace Grandpa Sam's first wife, Kay, left on the house was the pink bathroom.
Oh. Unlocking another key.
There's a secret in this bathroom. It's in the last place you would look. It isn't in the cupboard. It's hidden in this book.
Right.
Sven gave Sam an old camera he'd refurbished. He never put it down.
From the paintings on the wall, it was clear my brother Milton had been here before me.
Someone's in the army. What's that? I can't go up those steps.
There's a railing in the way, isn't it?
I knew Grandpa Sam had a twin,
Sam had a twin, Sam.
and that he never talked about him.
What the?
The passages were a pretty tight
Pumpkin.
fit. They'd obviously been built for smaller hands and bellies.
Wait, there's multiple places to go, isn't it?
Growing up, I always thought of Barbara as a child star. I never thought about how hard it must have been for her afterwards. Of all the stories people wrote about Barbara's death, I'm surprised Edie saved this one.
Can't
Old Jack here with another ghastly tale inspired by America's most unfortunate family. I'm calling it The Surprise Ending of Barbara Finch. As a child star, Barbara was famous for her scream. Now at 16, she was all washed up. A has-been.
Why does he sound like
But
you
in a
sound?
lucky break, she'd been asked to perform her signature scream at a local convention for monster movie fans. It was just the boost her career needed. Unfortunately, her scream hadn't aged well.
Getting better. I think you just need the right motivation.
Her biggest fan and current
Is that
boyfriend,
Peter
Rick,
Parker?
was about to demonstrate when...
Now that was a great scream.
It was Barbara's father, Sven. He'd slipped into a table saw and had to be rushed to the emergency room. So Barbara got stuck babysitting her youngest brother, Walter. Her convention comeback was cancelled.
Okay, I'm hearing frustration, but I'm not hearing terror. What if I tried...
A gang of hoodlums in Halloween masks have been terrorizing Orcas Island tonight. Police are urging residents to...
That came from the basement.
You're right! Also, I loved your delivery on that. Why is your basement door locked?
Because my dad likes making puzzles and secret passages. There's a key hidden in the music box. The secret is to keep winding and winding until finally the key pops out.
Thanks, babe. I'll be back in a sec.
Is that a clue for me?
20 minutes later, Rick.
So you could have done it, but you didn't do it
Barbara
before.
went to look for him, right on cue. She reached for the music box.
I'm in control again.
And as she wound the key, she listened for Rick, but the house was silent.
Oh, I'm in control.
You're in the comic.
She found Rick's crutch and imagined the worst.
The gang's leader is the infamous Hookman killer, Dr. Carl Hamill, who impaled and then ate his family 10 years ago tonight.
The old fridge rattled and grew still.
Oh dear!
Oh!
Rick?
Barb, relax. I was just trying to scare you to help you find your scream.
Well, I'm not scared, Rick. I'm furious.
Then act furious. All I'm getting from you now is that you're hurt and confused and you're...
She threw him out, but she kept a little something to remember him by.
Barb, have you seen my other crutch?
And she was still holding it when she fell asleep watching the late picture show. Hours later...
Barbara! Walter, what's going on up there? Ah! Okay, I'm coming up, but if this is a trick, you're dead, Walter.
Where was the stairs?
That was just downstairs.
There's a ghost.
Walter, are you there?
Walter had vanished, but his bedside radio was still on.
Orcas Island police describe the man as 6 feet tall, with a steel hook for a hand. Residents are urged to lock all doors and windows and notify the police of any suspicious activity.
Barbara turned, saw the hook man, and was speechless. He was quite smashing. And whoever he was, he couldn't get enough of Barbara.
Okay, Barbara, there's gotta be another way out of here.
That night, she played her part beautifully. She thought about abandoning Walter, but just couldn't do it.
Oh my god.
Molly's door hadn't been opened in years. The hinges grow. He wasn't
You didn't do that.
but she sensed the story might not be over yet.
Oh, he vanished when I went down the stairs.
Hookman had vanished. She listened for his breathing, but all she heard was... At the door, she heard whispering. It was coming from inside the house.
It's gonna be a skeleton next to him. Oh no.
Oh dear.
Bravo, Barbara!
to surprise her. For Barbara, it was a dream come true. Then she saw what kind of monsters they were, and she realized what was about to happen. She was going to be famous. And with her final breath, Barbara Finch gave the performance of her life. I wasn't there myself.
Are they just people from the convention?
Was magnificent.
Is that it?
Oh, maybe. Yeah, scared of convention people.
She had a taste for stardom. But unfortunately, so did her fans. Of course, the police blamed it all on poor Rick, who disappeared the same night. And little Walter, hiding under his bed the whole time. He took it all pretty hard, but that's another story. As for Barbara, tucked inside the music box is all they ever found of her. Her ear. Now that's what I call a real eerie tale.
Edie told me all Barbara wanted was to be remembered. As
Wait,
absurd
is
as that
every
comic
single one of
was.
these people dead?
Maybe what Edie saw was a
Oh,
happy
yeah,
ending.
they got death dates.
Oh, is it you're gonna go through all of them? And then
someone, story of people.
Something's gonna chase you and try to kill you.
Thing I've missed here. Is that cake? I guess I'll go back.
I guess now I know why Mom didn't like me playing with the music box.
Just open it.
It's funny. All those times I played with the music box and never found the basement key.
Wait, have I got a key now?
You have to open it, don't you?
Oh, just fall down the stairs, it'll be faster.
It's so dark.
Spinny, spinny, spin.
Mom said the basement was off limits, unless I wanted another tetanus shot.
Because it's dragons.
I saw Edie sneak down to the basement once, carrying packages. I thought maybe she was hiding presents. It turned out she was hiding a lot more than that.
Special fridge. Man, he's pissed off.
I remember asking Mom once about where Walter had gone. She said after Barbara died, he got as far away as he could. If there's a pattern in all these stories,
Fallout bunker.
I think it's that none of us has gotten very far.
Goodbye, everyone. I can't believe I've been down here for 30 years. On that first day, after the shaking started, I didn't think I'd survive a week.
Are they gonna say someone was feeling in the Fallout shelter?
But after a
30
few days,
years
I
with their
settled into a
family just
routine.
above them.
That's what kept me sane. Having a schedule, living for today. I always expected to be dead tomorrow. But if you wait long enough, you get used to anything.
Is this whole section...
Even a monster on the other side of the door starts to feel normal. Almost friendly. And then one day, everything just stopped. Whatever that thing was, it was gone. Maybe it got tired of waiting. Or maybe I just got tired of being afraid. It's been a week now, the longest in 30 years. I'm done waiting. I have to leave. Well, I still can.
I bet that's the date of the game. Was he getting out his bunker by going down? Is that what you just said?
I know it's out there, somewhere.
Alvino.
Whatever killed Barbara. And Molly. And Calvin. Maybe this is all a mistake. But I need to stop living the same day. Even if it kills me.
Yep.
Whatever's out there, I want you to know I'm ready for it. I'm going to appreciate all of it, especially the food. I don't mind if I only have a year left. Or a month. Or a single week. I'd be happy with one new day.
It's a pretty sharp corner for a train.
Yeah.
I can already imagine the sun on my face.
Why he gets run over?
That's a better spot for your entrance to come out.
Family retards.
Walter died when I was 6. I can't believe my mom never told me he was down here. Maybe it'd be better if all this just died with me. But I thought you should know about your family. And the history you're a part of.
Am I going swimming?
There's a platform on water.
Oh no, I'm going up here.
Though to be honest, I feel as lost as you probably do right now. I think the people in these stories believed them, for what that's worth.
I think the game knows I'm lost with their story right now.
You think they've made it dark to try and make you scary?
I don't know. I thought this path was going that way.
And when you look at the house, that history of imagination and stubbornness and madness, any of it seems possible. I think we've been surrounded by death for so long, we've just gotten used to it. What kind of family finishes building a cemetery before starting the house? It's embarrassing for me to admit this, but the pet cemetery made me more uncomfortable than the human one. 3 of the gerbils are mine, and 2 had been my fault.
They're all named similar. Derpy, Lurpy, Furpy, Burpy, Chirpy.
Sven built the house, but it was Edie who designed the cemetery.
Let's just give me a clue as to what the level's about. You made it turn into animals. Haven't done Spaceman yet. That was the guy in the basement, surely.
No, that's the guy in the basement.
Oh yeah, that's the guy. Okay, that's gonna be a woodworking guy. We've had a star.
I'm sure Odin's monument had been Edie's idea. My mom was always trying to move on, but for Edie, the past never went away. She could see it poking out of the water at low tide.
Can't see
Wait,
anything.
so they tried to ship a house over the sea,
Edie said
and
she
they
dreamed about
happened
the old
to
house every night.
sink right next to where they built the other house. Okay.
Bit of a waste of time.
I bet there's a secret passage to that house.
What now?
That's what the raft is for. You're gonna go to that house.
Where's the
Okay.
raft?
It's over there, look, in the middle.
Yeah, but how do I get on that?
It's gonna happen later.
What is this?
Edie's side was always easier for me to understand. But the older I get, the more I can see where my mom was coming from. She
there
lost
more
2 of her
finches in
brothers,
this
just like I
area?
did. I get why she tried so hard to protect us. There's so many things I wish I could ask my mom now. Part of me thinks this is what she wanted all along. For me to come back someday and find everything out for myself. But looking back on it now, if she told me there was going to be so much climbing, I never would have come when I was 22 weeks pregnant.
Is there a way up there? Oh.
I never met Grandpa Sam, but I think he and my mom had a lot in common. They were both pretty intense. Sam spent his life shooting photos, but Mom said he got nervous being in front of the camera. I guess we're all afraid of something.
Dawn, I promise, you'll never forget this weekend.
Yes, sir.
These memories... Perfect.
It's gonna rain the whole weekend, isn't it? I will never forget this weekend, Dad.
Oh,
Okay, got it.
Take photos and
I'm gonna take some pictures, okay?
It's like that other game.
Just
I was
be careful. The camera's older than you are.
Maybe she's gonna save it to computer.
You're right, Dad. It's starting to clear up. Still freezing, though.
I bet there's a silhouetted person somewhere in the scene and you have to find it. That's the killer.
You think? Oh, you zoom in and you look around and then something bursts out at you. And all of a sudden it's horror again. Wait, what's in focus?
The bird, isn't it?
The bird's gone now. What am I looking for? Bunch of birds. That seems like the most obvious.
To left below you.
Bunch of logs.
And then closer to you.
Close to me.
Turn around, all the way around.
I can't turn around.
Definitely should not have
Oh, I
drunk
can.
all that coffee.
Wait, only that far.
Nothing quite like being outside. Hey!
That's a keeper. Hold still while I take a picture of you.
I'm just saying, I'm not always gonna be here, Don. You'll need to remember this stuff, if you want to survive.
I'll be fine, Dad.
You know who else thought he was gonna be fine?
Some guy who died.
Don, I'm being serious.
I know, Dad. You're always serious. Doesn't being out here make you want to chill out?
Well, to tell you the truth, I haven't been out here in 20 years.
What am I doing?
Why do
Last
you need
time
all
I was
this
with
photograph?
Brother Calvin.
Am I looking for someone?
That was a great trip.
Oh, yeah.
Dad!
Good eyes, Don. Before you take the shot, let me get a picture of you.
Is there a deer out there?
Dad, I...
Let me get behind you.
Do I have to do this?
Don, you don't have to do anything. But if you want to survive... Great shot, Don! I'm proud of you, Don. Always remember that, okay?
Wait a minute, is there 3 people?
I'm moving. No.
Sorry, Don. Just gotta reset the timer.
You weren't fast enough.
Dad, it's twitching. I think
That's
it's
totally normal, Don. Just focus on the camera. Try not to think about...
Dad!
Okay, that's how he died.
There's some weird gameplay mechanics going on here.
Of all these stories, that's the one I wish most that my mom had told me. After Sam died, my mom and Edie got really close. They'd both lost a lot.
It's got a lot of different unlocking models. Like, you know, they could have used the same one all the way through, but they didn't.
Dear Kay, do you remember the way Gregory used to laugh when he thought he was alone? Like something funny was happening, but only he could see it. I think he saw things the rest of us don't.
Have I got a purpose here? Nope, I'm the frog.
Watching over, Gregory. It's time to... Hold on, sweetie. Hello? Sam, I told you I don't want to talk right now.
Surely we're going down the drain, right?
I wonder what he saw. What his world was like.
Oh, you see how
Reminded
pro I
me
was?
so much of Calvin. Lost in his imagination. Whatever it was he saw, it sure made him happy.
Are you controlling this? Did you actually do that?
Yeah, I did exactly what
I don't think he
I was
did.
meant to be doing that. I think he turned over just because I totally found out how to do it. I can't get up there anymore.
I know how silly it sounds.
I totally did that too. 100%.
Did he?
But I worried about a baby being too happy.
Jump on the lever.
Yeah, I feel like that's what I'm trying to do.
Feet are slipping away.
Sorry about that, Gregory.
I know you did everything you could. Maybe if I hadn't called that night.
Damn it.
Wait, do I have to set the bath again? No.
I wish he could have told us about the world he saw. There's so much I don't understand about Gregory,
Oh, he drowns in the bath.
about everything.
I'm the Hulk.
Chasing Legos.
But I know what happened wasn't your fault.
No, it's as if Lego made absolute.
I'm sure he's happy. And he'd want you to be happy too. Good luck, Kay. Love, Sam.
Well, that leaves 4 left, is it?
I can't imagine my mom ever writing poetry, and yet... A poem for Gus, who always said the wedding was a bad idea.
What is
Our
that?
father
It's not
never hit us kids, at least
a
not
weird
very
reel.
hard. Before the day my brother
It's a
said
kite
in
reel.
teenage disregard that he'd be dead before he'd see a wedding in our yard.
Ah, I'm collecting words. Wait, what?
My father made him come, of course, but Gus stood far apart, just flew his kite and bottled up the storm inside his heart. I tried to talk him out of it, but though he'd never met her, we don't need a stepmom, were the words that I
now pronounce you husband and wife. Make him cry.
You have to crash it into them.
Do I?
Maybe.
I'm just not looking in the right direction. There's something here.
When the time for photos came, Dad ordered him to come here. But Gus declined, and as a sign held up his middle finger. The wind picked up, and panicked geese appeared and quickly went. But all the humans did that day was go inside the tent.
My man put the kite inside the tent? No.
rain came down in buckets then, but no one seemed afraid that nature might destroy the tent our dad had crudely made. The thunder sounded much too close and full of angry power. But all my father said to this was, "Make the music louder."
You're flying a kite in a lightning storm.
Oh yeah, I see what's happening.
I wish that I could truly say I thought about you on that day. Out there on the beach alone, just you, the wind, the sea, and foam. But I
wasn't controlling it at that time.
Until we found you. She never talked about him, but Mom told me once if I was a boy, they were going to name me Gus.
Who sweeps trash? Oh wait, is it? Come on.
My mom moved up to the loft after her brothers died. At the time, it was as far away as she could get. She spent a summer building houses in Calcutta, where she met my dad, Sanjay. Religion was another thing my mom never talked about, but I think it helped her a lot after her dad died. My mom moved to India a week after graduation and got a job teaching English. Lewis was born a year later.
Yeah, they've glued up all the doors.
When my dad died, I don't think Mom knew where else to go. I'm sure Edie was happy to have her back. And to see kids in the house again. The house had to get a little bigger, but Edie was used to that. And for a while, things were good. Almost normal, but it didn't last. The beginning of the end was Milton's 10th birthday, when Edie gave him a castle. Milton Finch in The Magic Paintbrush.
I gotta keep it holding it down. Oh my god.
Did you get to the end or
I'm
not?
gonna hold it down for the entire time. I'll let go.
I was 4 when Milton disappeared. Mom spent months searching for my brother.
Then she sealed the doors. Whatever Milton had found in the house, Mom didn't want it getting out.
I'm going up those steps on it.
Mom definitely blamed Edie, but I think Louis blamed himself. After he graduated, he just spent more and more time in his room. Until Mom got him a job at the cannery.
Is there a boat up here?
It's escape craft, so when the house sinks again.
Louis's room smelled very, very familiar. That part of him lived on.
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Louis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Louis first noticed the monotony of his daily life. He kept
But yeah, there
but he withdrew part of himself. In our sessions, I saw the same behavior. His mind began to...
I try. Is that a picture? His mind began to what? Hello?
You haven't bugged it.
Oh, and I'm using the arrow keys for some reason.
I asked him to describe it. He said he started small, imagining a labyrinth.
Are you cutting the fish as well as me?
Yeah, multitasking, man.
Then something moved. Bats. And toads. And things that have not names. He knew it was all in his head. But he took it very seriously. I had hoped he'd find himself. But he found something more.
That?
I worried about him then. Daydreaming at the cannery. I spoke with his boss. But he said Louis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused. Like a whole new Louis. So I let him go on.
Oh my God.
I even encouraged him. It seemed very promising at first.
You don't cut the fish, will you?
Yeah.
He told me he'd made a new friend. On the edge of a city he named Louis Topia. He built the city up slowly, brick by brick. Then he made musicians.
The screen's getting bigger, look. He's starting to ignore the fish. He's gonna put his hand.
And songs for them to play. He talked about starting a band. and he was always humming something.
Is there little emperors following you?
Every day his imagination grew stronger. He no longer spoke at the cannery. But his chopping was as reliable as ever. Then one day it struck him that all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination, so he could do whatever he wished. He held an election for mayor, and he won. They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering. It became a game for him.
Yep.
He'd conquer a city, then immediately push on. New Louisville.
He plays strategy games, that's what I think.
St. Louis. He started drifting away from our reality. Minneapolis. Until one day he forgot to go home from the cannery. Even as his mother pleaded with him, part of Louis kept sailing on. In
Well, that was made out of
Louisville,
books.
he heard rumors of a
He's choosing the thing for.
handsome queen. The queen was on her own quest for
Serpents. Serpents.
sinister serpents.
That's just a hedge, isn't it?
He followed the sound of her
Man.
silver harp.
Wait, am I aiming for this now?
His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon. Even then, his logic remained sound. He knew the world was all in his imagination. But he was so
Totally different
proud
game.
of having created it. In his own eyes,
Yes,
he'd become
adventure
something
game, yes.
greater than a king.
Get out of the way, my dream fish.
For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming. And then it struck him that the real Louis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace. My imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him.
What's the point of a big door if you need a small door? You're in the fish factory.
He began to forget the world we know.
I'm not cutting fish no more.
She's gonna get
I
squished
think
by a
it
pile
pained
of
him
fish,
to
isn't it?
remember Louis, the cannery worker. He began to despise the man with a royal contempt.
I'll see you, man. I'm going up. Oh, that's him.
I still
He's
thought I
following
could
us
save him. Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder. The palace would be packed with his companions.
With no faces.
They're not even using the symbols.
Including the wise Calico who had insisted on inviting him.
That guy. Soundtrack should not sound good this
His queen waited, holding his crown.
It's a pretty thick carpet, isn't it?
There was only one thing left to do.
You walking slower and slower and slower.
Bend down his head.
Oh, wow.
The guillotine.
He put his own head in the fish machine.
And the rest I think you know.
Or maybe he is a
Mrs.
fish.
Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
My brother was really cool. I wish you could have met him. Lewis and I spent a lot of time playing games together, but he was surprisingly bad at them.
What's that console
He
called?
died a lot.
Wonderland Turbo.
On the way back from Lewis's funeral, my mom told me to start packing. She waited until the day before we left to tell Edie. I'm not sure if she wanted to make it easier or harder. I wish we'd stayed.
Tongue gun. What was that?
It's maybe packing material again. A whole full bag of packing material.
But I understand why
Doesn't
we
look
left.
like that. This is a weird room.
My mom ended up leaving everything behind.
Name tags.
What happened that night had been coming for a long time. Maybe it should have come sooner. But it had to end one way or another.
All that's left now is to tell you about that last night.
That whole last day, Edie just watched us pack and didn't say a word. Until supper, when she raised her glass and said,
"To our final night together, and all our final nights apart."
Grandma, you know what I said about alcohol. Some of your medications are very
Edith,
specific.
I left a present for you in the hallway. Why don't you go open it? The grown-ups have to argue now.
I'm sorry, you're right. We're all leaving tomorrow. Let's just enjoy our last...
I'm not leaving.
Edith, you're excused.
The power had been shut off that morning, but Edie always had plenty of candles. When my mom sealed the library, I don't think she knew about the other entrance. Or that Edie had a key to it.
Nah, you would have knocked it.
That thing you're afraid of isn't going to end when you leave the house.
Edith has a right to know these stories.
My children are dead because of your stories. I think it's best if Edith and I leave tonight. We'll have the nursing home send a van for you in the morning. Okay?
Dear Edith, there's so many stories I wish I could tell you, but there's only time for one. This is about what happened on the night you were born. That night, the tide went way, way out.
Oh, Sam was right. We're going.
It was the first and last time
It's not with the
I ever saw the old house aground. There'd been an earthquake out in the middle of the ocean. They called it the lowest tide in 1,000 years. God, it smelled awful. You know, I've seen that house every day of my life. But I never thought I'd go back to it. When the fog rolled in, I lost my way.
Is my way? I'm going straight at it.
I got turned around.
Oh, maybe not go naked, you can't find it.
I started seeing things. Things I'd forgotten had ever existed.
Forgot about this.
But when I saw them, they felt like old friends. That night, a lot of things came back to me. Or maybe I came back to them. Things I can't explain, but that I need you to try and...
Edith, what are you doing in here?
It's mine.
Edith!
Mom, you're gonna rip it! Let go!
My precious.
I kicked and screamed, but Mom dragged me to the car. I never saw Great-Grandma Edie again. The next morning, the van came to pick her up, but she was already gone.
I'm in the boot.
After that, we moved around a lot.
You shouldn't get to the house, so you're gonna have to get to the house on the ground.
We both
That's
tried
what's
to
gonna
make the
happen.
best of it. A few years went by. My mom didn't like to talk about it. But she started getting sick a lot. The rest happened pretty quickly. She got better for a while, and then she didn't. And then I was alone. The last Finch left alive. Until I found out about you. I'm still not sure what to tell you about all this. If we lived forever,
Telling a story to a
maybe we'd
baby.
have time to understand things. But as it is, I think the best we can do is try to open our eyes. And appreciate how strange and brief all of this is. This journal was supposed to be for you. But now I hope you'll never see it. I just want to meet you and tell you all these stories myself. But I guess if you're reading this now, things didn't work out that way. This is where your story begins. I'm sorry I won't be there to see it.
It's a lot to ask, but I don't want you to be sad that I'm gone.
I want you to be amazed that any of us ever had a chance to be here at all. Good luck.
What a weird house. That's what I get from that game.